Tonight, you'll witness a story no one else saw coming. A murder so meticulously staged that even time itself seemed to fracture to conceal the truth. Before the mystery begins, make sure to subscribe to The Silent Case and hit that like button. The building exhaled a frozen breath as Detective Daphne Hale stepped into the foyer. The cold had a weight here, biting at exposed skin, condensing into a stillness that seemed unnatural, deliberate. The hall's towering windows were etched with frost, their patterns twisting light into jagged shards across the marble floors. At the center, the body of Margaret Lane lay unnervingly still. Her eyes were wide, staring beyond comprehension, a fixed gaze that seemed to pierce the very walls. The doors were locked from the inside, impossible. No footprints led to or from the room, no signs of forced entry. The impossible had been realized. Security footage offered fragments, each frame more disjointed than the last. Lane had entered 30 minutes earlier, moving with ordinary purpose, and then a missing hour. When the sequence resumed, she was dead. Not missing, dead. And still, the doors remained sealed. Time itself seemed to bend inside this frozen room, refusing logic. The room was a theater of subtle contradictions. A painting on the wall appeared slightly rotated, shadows bending at angles that should have been impossible. A chair tipped minutely, as though nudged by a ghost. Each discrepancy alone might have been dismissed as coincidence. Together they whispered orchestration, precision, intent. An ornate desk drew attention. On it lay an open notebook, its pages filled with sequences of letters, numbers, and symbols in meticulous order. A pen rested perfectly aligned with the desk's edge, a glass slightly misaligned. A clock ticked backward for a single beat, then resumed its natural rhythm. Each item was crafted not only to mislead, but also to guide, a trail meant for observation by someone who knew what to look for. Even the air carried clues. A faint hum emanated from beneath the floorboards, imperceptible at first, yet persistent enough to suggest a hidden vibration. Dust motes floated lazily in slivers of fractured light, revealing scratches in the marble that formed patterns only visible from certain angles. The room itself had become a labyrinth of perception. Windows that should have been shut were ajar, revealing faint frost patterns that obscured subtle scratches along the sill. Drawers shifted when no one looked. Footprints appeared in dust, then vanished, as though erased by invisible hands. Every anomaly carried the unmistakable signature of deliberate design. Beneath the staircase, almost invisible markings formed a hidden cipher. Letters etched into the wood spelled a single word: Hale. The crime had been crafted for more than simple murder. Margaret Lane had been investigating Daphne Hale herself, leaving behind a series of coded messages hidden within the environment. Every anomaly, every impossible contradiction, every shifted object had been carefully staged to be discovered by one specific observer. The detective's attention moved with methodical precision, each observation revealing new layers. Books on shelves formed diagonal sequences, paintings tilted subtly, shadows bent unnaturally across the floor. Even the smallest scratches on the floorboards were deliberate, part of a larger pattern. The impossible crime was designed not only to hide the killer, but also to communicate something essential to the detective. Small red herrings emerged to challenge perception. A candlestick on the far table implied movement from the corner, though no one had passed. A shadow along the wall suggested presence where none existed. The faint hum from the floorboards shifted in tone, almost like a whispered signal. The building itself had become a sentient maze, guiding, deceiving, and revealing simultaneously. Minutes stretched and bent within the frozen room. Every detail demanded attention. A window that had been shut now slightly open. A photograph misaligned, revealing subtle inconsistencies in what it depicted. A chair's leg pressed slightly into the floor, leaving a scratch that formed a symbol when viewed at the correct angle. The hall's anomalies were a meticulously crafted symphony, designed to be interpreted only by the detective. The notebook on the desk contained further coded sequences. Letters and numbers aligned with symbols etched into the floor, creating a map of hidden truths. The impossible murder became intelligible, layer by layer, through observation. Dust, scratches, and misaligned objects all contributed to a single purpose: communication. Symbols carved beneath the floorboards revealed fragments of Daphne Hale's own past. Mistakes long buried, unresolved cases, decisions avoided, and regrets hidden deep in memory. The crime had been crafted not to conceal Lane's death, but to expose a personal truth, one that could only be deciphered by the detective herself. The room seemed to breathe, exhaling cold currents that moved with intention. Chandeliers swayed faintly, casting elongated shadows that stretched across the floors. Dust motes shimmered in shafts of fractured light, revealing scratches and inscriptions that had been invisible moments before. The faint hum from the floorboards pulsed like a heartbeat, guiding attention, teasing recognition. Each step, each glance revealed new information. The hall's anomalies demanded comprehension. Patterns emerged, then dissolved, only to reveal deeper sequences. Every contradiction, every shift in object, every shadow, and every scratch pointed toward a truth long obscured. The final revelation lay beneath the last floorboard, hidden in plain sight. Symbols etched with exacting precision revealed a coded message. The killer had not simply known the victim, they had targeted the detective. Every inconsistency, every misdirection, every broken timeline had been crafted with exacting care to confront Hale with her own buried truths. The crime was intimate, psychologically meticulous, and designed to force recognition. The frozen room's atmosphere grew denser, almost tangible, as though every shadow, every scratch, every breath of cold air carried intent. Light flickered across objects, revealing hidden sequences in dust and scratches. The hum from beneath the floorboards seemed to echo a secret rhythm, guiding perception and heightening the tension of revelation. Outside life continued, oblivious. Streets buzzed, indifferent to the labyrinth of precision unfolding within the hall. Inside, however, a crime had been executed with impossible accuracy, designed not just to take a life, but to expose, confront, and unsettle. Some secrets exist for only a chosen few. Some crimes are meant not just to end, but to change those who witness them forever. As the final ciphers were deciphered, the frozen room fell silent. Shadows pooled, light flickered, and the hall returned to its frozen stillness. The impossible crime remained intact, a labyrinth of observation, deception, and revelation. Daphne Hale had uncovered truths meant only for her perception, realizing that the killer had constructed a meticulously orchestrated sequence designed to force her confrontation with a buried truth. The frozen room became a testament to precision, planning, and personal targeting. Each shadow, each subtle movement, each misaligned object was evidence of deliberate design. The murder had been impossible, but the message had been undeniable. The killer's intent had reached beyond the victim, directly toward the detective. If this story unsettled or captivated, share your favorite moment in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to The Silent Case to discover more stories like this. Secrets the world doesn't know.